Did somebody order beef?
Ladies, gentlemen, Mollusk here, bringing you another End Times Fantasy Battle Report. And it's a rematch between my goatees and Tygris' Screamer Demon list. And this guy's the kind of player you always hope you'll face. Really personable, makes the game a barrel of laughs, and there's always a surprise in the works to keep you on your toes. So my list for this battle is a little bit different. I was going to be bringing my Woolgore army, because I want to try to build up some experience with it. But then I had this idea for my MOOMINIONS, and I just couldn't not do it. No self-control. If you're in the mood for a bloodbath, keep watching, because this one is going to be a blast. So let's get into it, as we're both rocking the Legion of Chaos. We have a polite disagreement about which god should be ascendant. I win the roll-off, and this battle is being played for the glory of Khorne. And that is huge, because it means his demons are unstable. Seriously, I can't begin to tell you how happy that makes me. So, we deploy as you see here. On the left flank, which we will call West in this game, Tygris has inconvenienced reality with a unit of Flamers, a Herald on a disc, and some Screamers. In the centre, from the west, we have a small unit of 10 Horrors, 20 Horrors behind them, a unit of Screamers, his Lord of Change, another unit of Screamers, there's some Flamers in front of them, and then another unit of 20 Horrors. That big white thing in their middle is a unit filler sculpted like a Chaos Portal, and it just looks awesome. And here we have a Demon's Eye view of my west flank. There's the Tuskor Chariot, Gloom Hammer, then a unit of Centaur with Goros Warhoof, and this is the manliest waste of points you're ever likely to see. In that rather dull normal forest are my unit of Minotaurs with my Gorebull Battle Standard Bearer, and his name is Heartache, because only real men name their plastic dollies. And here's my centre. From the west we have a Razorgore, and then a unit of Minotaurs. And they're joined by Moomin Papa himself, Hartbleed the Doombull. And he's one bad motherfucker. Behind them we've got a Tuskor Chariot, to make those Screamers think twice about dodging behind my Minotaurs. I think that one's Gloom Hammer. Next we have some Ungor Raiders guarding Twist Skin, the Great Bray Shaman. And again, guarding my backlines from the Screamers is the Woe Hammer, the chariot with the yellow flags. In front of that is Grief Pig the Razorgore. Next to him is Misery Pig the Razorgore. Holding my east flank is my Gorgon, who I'll call Red Hands, until I can think of a cheesier sadness synonym. So there we go, close to 900 points of Minotaurs. Check. A brick of Centaur. Check. Some Ungor Raiders. Check. It's time to throw down. Daemons Turn 1, he moves up as you see. The Screamers risking the wrath of the sinister statue, which is that tower to the right of the picture with the dice on it. His west flank is a bit more conservative, and the big unit of Horrors takes its chances sitting next to the portal, which is the unseasonably snowy tower with the dice on it. Going into the magic phase. It's a bit drafty. Those dice are 1s, so yeah, he's at -1 to his ward save. But not to start things too gently. He gets off some kind of giant conflagration spell that I can't stop, and that's a bad thing. Luckily it scatters off my Minotaurs, roasts my Ungor, and puts a wound on my chariot. However, we then proceed to fail all our toughness tests, and get mangled some more. In the shooting phase, the Flamers do a couple of wounds to my Minotaur, and then we fail a toughness test, and take some more wounds. Beastmen Turn 1, and we put pedal to the metal. This army's pretty frickin' fast. Obviously I'm hanging back with the chariots to try to discourage leapfrogging Screamers. Twist Skin moves centrally to try to stop him from being too vulnerable to the glorified Demon Stingrays, and to make sure that he's in range of the Minotaurs, because we depend on his magic. Basically my plan is, I'm never going to catch these Screamers and Herald, so I'm going to use my Centaur and Minotaurs to crush his horror blocks. And I'm expecting the Screamers over here will probably try to fly over stuff and cause some damage, rather than staying still long enough to be hit. and then I'll try to charge the shit out of that Lord of Change. And I could have set this up better, but there's still not too many places he can go where it'll be safe. And whilst I remember, the blue scribes are hiding behind this building at the back. Call off the manhunt, you now know where they are. In the magic phase, the Reign of Chaos gives us Rot, Glorious Rot. Affects one unit of Screamers and a unit of Flamers. One of the Flamers develops a bit of a sniffle and takes a wound, but that's all that happens. Baphomet, my level 1 of the Wild, issues a Bray Scream from the Gorbull's lips, and it does nothing. Twist Skin, the level 4, then proceeds to roll 1s for the number of dice he can use to cast, for just about every spell in the deck, and I'm left casting Pan's Pelt again and again and again, with my opponent dispelling again and again and again. Seriously, this goat is starting to piss me off. And so, without any magical protection of any sort, we go into the Daemons Turn 2. The Screamers laugh off the statue's bolts and charge in the flank of my Gorgon. And he's a big boy, with stubborn leadership 10, and I figure he's got this. With no other charges, we go into movement, and the Screamers fly over my Minotaurs. And ouch, that really hurts. Over to the west, the smaller unit of Horrors takes one for the team, as everyone else gets the hell out of the way. And the last unit of Screamers gets behind me. And it turns out we've got another normal forest on our hands. In the magic phase, things get ramped up to 12, and a unit of Horrors are summoned from beyond. And they chain cast Pink Fire on an endless loop. I just let him have it for 3 or 4 times, because he had a dice pool of about 19. And I needed to just save my Dispel dice for bigger spells that might target the Doombull. But yeah, it's an expensive price to pay. I do manage to stop his other spells, however. In the shooting phase, my Doombull and his Minotaur Guard hold on to their butts as they take a round of shooting from the Flamers without modifiers. The smoke clears and Hartbleed is still standing. And over to the west, the Centaurs take more punishment from the other unit of Flamers. I don't know what Goros did to the Demon's mothers, but it must have been pretty bad. Oh, and something else happens to the Centaur. I guess the other picture showed one last pink flame, and this picture shows what the Flamers did. The only reason this unit is still standing is because Goros has a magic resistance from his days of My Little Pony slaying. And then we go into combat. And what the frick? The Lampreys eat red hands before he can even attack. Why wasn't I told they do that? Luckily my Razorgore are feeling super brave and stick around, but... oh crap, things aren't looking good. Beastmen Turn 2, and we've got to do something. So Goros and the Minotaurs go into the Horrors, and I think that'll go in my favour. The chariot moves up to where you see, and that was a bad idea. It's just asking to get moved over and flamed. I probably should have moved it back to draw the Screamers off one more turn. Baphomet, the level 1, moves over to the other side of the forest, trying to not to look tasty to the Screamers. And Twistskin, the level 4, moves into the central building, which is just a normal building. It's a risk, because he could easily be cooked alive by all the fire that Tygris can bring, but I need him in position to buff my units up if he ever pulls his staff out of his arse. Continuing with charges on the east flank, this little pig and Gloom Hammer double team the Screamers, and Hartbleed the Doombull charges the Lord of Change. In the rest of movement, the Hammer Chariot and the Razorgore move up around here, running away from the Screamers, and the last Razorgore runs up behind the Horrors. Maybe this will give me some options. I'm not really sure what they will be, but you never know, right? Going into Magic, I think the Reign of Chaos result was Corn Stampy Foot or something, but it didn't do anything. I then cast every buff spell I can at the Doombull, and just managed to slip a Pan's Pelt through. And if I'm going to get one, that's the one I need. In combat, we destroy the Horrors with almost impact hits alone. In this combat, the Chariot does 1 impact hit, but it counts. But this little pig pulls it out of the box and wins me the combat. Good pig. And in the combat between the Lords, there can be only one. The Lord of Change struggles a bit against toughness 8 crazed Bovine, and the last couple of wounds are done by combat res. And the Lord of Change is sent back to the Void. After the game, we realised my opponent had been forgetting his Wand of Whimsy, which could have been quite a big deal. But I've lost plenty of games myself from forgetting vital rules, and it happens sometimes. With me, quite a lot. But let's not take away from the Doombull's glory. After what the demons did to his mates, I think he well earned that. And the gods decided that 7 attacks just wasn't enough, and they gave him another one. Demons Turn 3. The large unit of horrors just sidle behind the portal tower, and I'd like you to take a moment to notice how big this free horror unit, is getting, after barbecuing all those Centaur. Over to the east, everybody turns to look at the Doombull. Maybe he's got something on his face. The Screamers fly over the Gloom Hammer chariot and wreck it. And then we go into the magic phase. The Dark Prince thirsts, but doesn't do anything to anybody. Or maybe it wounds a Razorgore or something. Pretty lucky there. And then Hartbleed tanks everything they can throw at him. Twiskin is a bit of an unsung hero in this, as he proves his talent for fucking up other people's magic phases as well as his own. In combat, oh, this little pig, I love you. He goes down to his last wound, but thanks to instability being in effect, there's only one Screamer left. And so we go into Beastmen Turn 3. The Lord of Change might be down, but I've got to do something drastic, or we're sunk. And Heartache, the Doombull, makes a surprise charge out of the unit and into the large unit of horrors. I'm banking on the idea that his unit champion has to accept a challenge, and we'll see what happens about that. Misery Pig fails his charge against the rear of the Flamers, but that's okay, because Woe Hammer makes it. In the rest of movement, I feel a bit stuffed. I try to move around so I can get charges next turn. I'm trying to stop the Screamers from moving over me, but there's not really a lot I can do. Trying to get away from the other Screamers, Baphomet, the level 1, runs out into the open, hoping that the Razorgore can protect him. I don't move him into the building, because I don't want them to go in after the level 4. And if the Flamers beat the chariot, I'd rather not have 2 of my Shaman in that oven. In the magic phase, the Reign of Chaos result was 11, which doesn't work on demons, and we managed to slip through Savage Beast on the Doombull. Looking at this picture, it looks like the Minotaurs have moved up too far. They shouldn't be able to march after the character charges out. But oh well, it does make a difference to the game. Ooh, a bit of a blurry picture here, but it shows that in combat, this little pig ate the last Screamer, and I'm so proud of him. In this combat, the Flamers pound the Woe Hammer chariot, and he does some wounds back, winning combat, by the skin of its teeth. And over here, it turns out unit champions don't have to accept challenges, and the challenge is refused. The horrors slip 2 wounds through my virtually naked Doombull. I'm really missing that Pan's pelt. But with impact hits, Savage Beasts and Stomps, he kills 6 of them. Wins combat and adds another attack to his CV. Demons Turn 4, the Screamers charge the Razorgore. The other Screamers do some crazy manoeuvring and fly over the Doombull, but don't do any damage. The decision to go 2-up Ramhorn rather than 5-up, 4-up Armour of Destiny is starting to pay off. The other demons move up like so. In the magic phase, not a lot happens, other than Goros' standard bearer bites the dust, and the cowardly Centaur runs away, and pops out the other side of the horrors, but passes his dangerous terrain. In combat, the Screamers have no problem taking down my brave Razorgore, and pile into my level 1. Uh-oh. And in combat with the last Flamer, the Woe Hammer finally takes it down, and prepares to take its charge into more victims next turn. And in this combat, pumped up to 11 or 12 attacks, the Doombull eviscerates the unit of horrors. I should say he's got no armour anymore, because that portal has been rusting him, and the Tzeentch Herald has also been rusting him for good measure, trying to make him die. I should probably mention here that this portal has been fireballing, speed of lighting, rusting the big unit of horrors next to it all game, and it just hasn't mattered. Beastmen Turn 4, and I'm starting to hope. The Doombull charges into the Herald, and that's going to be good. Caught between the Screamers and the Flamers, the Minotaurs turn around and accept their inevitable fate. The Razorgore moves up to help the Doombull, not really sure what that's going to achieve. That's right, in the centre, everybody charges. And things don't look good for the horrors. And there's a bit of a picture of that. You can see Goros has rallied. In Magic, the level 4 uses almost every single spell to buff the level 1. And I now have a Strength 6, Toughness 7, 4 attack Shaman. And I said almost every spell, because I saved up 1 Amber Spear, and put it through the flank of the White Screamers. And it skewered 3 of them. Neither of us had ever seen it work as well as that before. So okay, Twiskin, you're starting to claw your way back into my favour. In combat, the Shaman fights valiantly, the Screamers make all their mother effing ward saves, and he loses by a charge and a flank, and runs away, and they run him down. Over to the west, Heartache the Doombull butt rapes the Herald and has to overrun over here. And over in the centre, oh yeah. Good showing from impact hits all round, no damage taken from the horrors, a lot of butchering, a little bit of stomping, and they're all gone. Even though he can fly, the Doombull only overruns 1d6, and so can't get the Screamers, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad, in fact, that I forget to overrun with the Razorgore into the other Screamers, where I'd fancy his chances. Oh well. Daemons Turn 5. The blue Screamers fly over Goros and eat him, and no one cares. To the west, things move as you see. I think the Screamers fly over the last Minotaur, but miraculously he survives. In Magic, he rolls an 11 and tries to summon another Herald through my level 4. But Twiskin makes his leadership test just. Minotaur dies in flames, who didn't see that coming? And the blue Scribes have come out to play. Basically, he was hoping that their random spell would give him something good to take out the Doombull. He got Caress of Laneth, and I don't think he bothered using it. Unfortunately, the Woe Hammer goes down to Miscellaneous Chaos Flame. And the horrors try to roast my Shaman. Honestly, I am trying to stop these spells, but I just can't. Luckily, he rolls a misfire and can't quite reach the building. In shooting, I remember I still haven't used the Chalice, and it rains mud, which spoils the Flamer's aim, and the Doombull survives. And in Beastmen Turn 5, unfortunately, I think it's Beastmen Turn 6. And basically, I can't charge anything, and I decide I don't want to risk sucking my wizard down the hole, so I don't do anything and anything's there. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, if the game had gone on its proper length, I'd have moved the level 4 out of the building to get away from flamer roasting. I'd have moved the Razorgore to protect the Shaman from the Screamers, either blocking them from flying over him or redirecting a charge. The Doombull would have gone somewhere nice and safe, making sure he could get easily into the Screamers should they charge the Razorgore or overrun into the Shaman somehow. And then the Doombull would have run as far as he could for the corner. And the Razorgore would have moved up with him to give him hard cover against the Flamers and hopefully block the Screamers from charging. Yeah, not sure if that would have worked. We'd almost certainly have lost the Razorgore. Might have gotten lucky and gotten the Scribes with an Amber Spear. And I could have ended up losing another character. And as I think it's fairly close, that would have swung things in his favour. Yeah, sorry about that. It's happened before, it'll happen again. But that's just the way things go. As before, I really like my opponent's list. It really makes you concentrate on the movement phase even more than normal. And with the end times magic, oh my goodness, the flames just don't stop. It's only with a considerable amount of luck that I even managed to survive this far. As for my army, I went into this game thinking I was just going to straight up lose. But I really wanted to have a Minotaur herd, and not have to spend half an hour counting out 90 gore. And I figured I'd go down in style. And in the first couple of turns, it looked like things were going to go that way. But then the Doombull and the Doombull, oh wow, they are rape machines. So long as they survive long enough to get going. But yeah, flying Doombull, most fun you can have standing up. And with that, as I'm sure you're dying to know, let's check out the scores.